Hi folks, one of the most common questions I get involves over-under shotguns. It seems everybody wants an over-under because it's the in vogue, stylish chick, if you will, thing to do at sporting clays ranges. You can also use over-unders in the field, of course, even though they're not my preference for a host of reasons, but mainly they only shoot 2 shots and they've got substantial recoil. Nonetheless, everybody not only wants but needs a good over-under shotgun. So the question is though, what's the best one for the least amount of money? i.e. value over-under. And for years, I used to say, save your money until you can afford about $2,000 now, $2,200, for a Beretta or a Browning like this one. This is a Satori. I've had this for 35 years, I think. Wonderful little gun. As you can see on a past video, this question is very popular. I tested the Yieldies and I think that shotgun is one because of its steel frame that truly is a value shotgun, and I would say spend your money on that gun because now after 3 years of use, that gun has proven itself. Anyway, this is a Browning. I always tell people to save their money and get a Beretta or a Browning, but there's some new guns on the market that I have to test. One of them is right here, Mossberg's new International Gold Reserve Black Label. Oh, old shells. Man, this thing shoots good. As you can see, other than the one has a pistol grip, and this is a special edition of this Satori, it's got the English grip, it looks very similar. It also has longer barrels than this 26-inch Satori, but it also feels really similar. Both of them weigh just a shade over 6 pounds. I think this Gold Reserve is 6 1/4 technically, but it's really similar. See the Schnabel forend, you've got the rib barrel. They're both just light and light. But this review is about the Mossberg, so let me put the Satori up because it is in a different price category. This thing's made in Italy. It's supposed to be a little bit better. But I want to know, is this Mossberg that I've never shot yet, except for twice when I was shooting my kid's pacifier.
Way down.
We're gonna blast the pie out of the sky. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Okay. Jones wants to see this.
3, 2, 1.
Blasted it. I haven't shot it at the range, it clays, I haven't even patterned it yet. I can tell you my initial thoughts, but until I can use this baby for 2 or 3 years, that's only when you know if ejectors go down, the thing is just rock solid steel. So my initial thoughts though are very good. So many times when you pick up a cheap Turkish like this one, over under, historically, you can just tell they just do not, they're not balanced well. The wood to metal fit is not good, they just don't feel good. This gun feels good. Its balance point is just right there about an inch, 1 1/4 past the trunnion there, right? That's the trunnion. That's just because it has 30-inch barrels. That means it's balanced really good for wing shooting. For wing shooting guns, a lot of times you want that between the hands feel that gives it that kind of lively feel. Sometimes if you're really shooting long sporting clays, you want just a tad weight forward for a better follow through. But initially, this gun just has everything that you want. It has a no-nonsense recoil pad that's actually cushy, but it won't hang up. See how it's slicker right there? That's when you really pull that gun up. You don't want it snagging there. I love this recoil pad. Really well done from Mossberg. This gun is made in Turkey by the Khan Corporation. Now, I've heard of Khan. I've tested some guns a long time ago. I believe it came about in '85. I tested a gun in the early 2000s. I wasn't all that impressed with it, but I can tell once Americans can go over there and consult with Turkey engineers, they really give them the come to Allah speech. You can just see it in almost all Turkish firms. They've really learned how to please the American manufacturers with consulting. They're really good manufacturers that are now state-of-the-art with their CNC machines. There's nothing wrong with Turkish guns as long as they are consulted and led correctly by the American engineers. Moving down the gun, it's a single trigger, box lock action. There's a little jeweling here on the box design. Automatic ejectors. It's got a single selective safety. The safety's actually pretty cool. It's kind of a Beretta style. You can select the triggers by moving that selector left or right. That's over or under. Then of course the tank safety. Up is fire and back is of course safe. Let's see if it's automatic. Nope, it's a manual safety. One thing that's interesting, if this is exactly in the middle, then you can't work the safety, a la you can't fire it, which for a target gun, that's okay. The trigger is gold, kind of a nice touch. I was told that it has some 24 karat plating, like right there. That's cool. I kind of like the black. I certainly don't like the laser engraved aluminum look. I think that black is pretty sleek, but of course that's all personal preference. I do like the scroll engraving. It looks so much better than that really corny laser engraving. I think that's done pretty well. I do like the vented rib, and then it has the extra bonus of the vented in-between rib. That's cool. Let's see here, let me take this gun down for the first time. Anson and Dealey style latch, all that is pretty standard. It's got the monoblock, good heavy lugs with 2 bites there. And that's made really well, you just tell. All the brazing and welding looks great. Back to the action, it is a mechanical triggers using 2 sears, so it doesn't require recoil to reset the second trigger. That way if you have a dud on the first round, you can still shoot the second. It also comes with 5 choke tubes. That's pretty sweet for a gun in this price range. I like these choke tubes. They're extended and knurled, and they're also colored. That way you can quickly just see and identify. That's really snazzy. I think all guns should have that. Of course, it comes with full improved modified, which is your really popular long range sporting clays choke, modified, and then of course improved cylinder and cylinder. This would be good for trap and skeet. Really well done on the chokes. They really went the extra mile and spent some money making these chokes. You don't need a tool. Oh, that's nice. Mossberg, of course, used to be known as just the pump shotgun company. Their Model 500 is one of the all-time most popular, most prolific guns in any genre of all time. They've sold, I think, around 11 million of them or something now. It's just crazy. Over the years, though, here recently, the largest privately owned American gun company, second maybe only in the world, is privately owned to Beretta, but this American company has expanded. Now their rifles aren't fancy, may not be the world's prettiest, but they just work, they're great. Their shotguns, their automatic shotguns, the 940 is great. I even carry the MC2C handgun a lot. They've really just stepped it up to where it's more than just a blue collar brand. They still are aware of their pricing, but I digress there. When Mossberg told me that they sent an over-under 10 years ago, I might have rolled my eyes because I've seen some of the abominations coming from Turkey a long time ago. This thing is nice. It's handling well so far. It just feels good. Let me take a couple of measurements on it real quick. I think that it's offered in a couple of different barrel lengths. I believe a 28 and a 30. Add an inch for the choke. Yep, that's 31. So this is the 30-inch barrel. I believe it comes in a 28. This is a 20 gauge gun. Of course, also comes in a 12 gauge. This 20 gauge though, again, it's 6.25 pounds. Just, you can carry this thing all day. The only downside for a super light gun, if you're shooting it at the trap and skeet field or the sporting clays field, is it will have a bit more recoil. That's 711. That, folks, is what we call a little bit heavy. 7.75, and then we try the under trigger. 7.75 exactly. So shotgun triggers don't matter a ton in the pull weight. That's 615, and that's 745. So roughly 7-pound triggers. What's more important is if they're smooth and consistent. So just feeling it. Not terrible, but not the best I've ever tried either. Length of pull is 14. Very thin, light wrist there. I like that. Overall, it's gonna be about 47 inches, 47 and a half with the choke tubes. I'm gonna go shoot this thing and pattern it to make sure that its pattern lands where I look Not where I aim, but what I look. That's indicative of a shotgun. Then I want to see make sure both barrels are pretty to the same place. That's indicative of if the barrels are regulated and if it's built correctly. So enough talk. Man, I'm running my mouth, aren't I? Let's go out and shoot this baby while we still have some light. Oh. Thing shoots good so far. Pretty impressive. I like it. It shoots real good. It shoots where I look, which is the key for me to shooting a shotgun well, because it fits me well. It just doesn't have any real glaring flaws. So I commend Mossberg to doing that. The chokes by themselves probably cost 150 bucks if you bought them from Briley or Carlson's in the aftermarket. It comes with this cool case. Is it leather lined? No, but it gets the job done. Comes with a trigger lock, so let me see this, I'll break it down. Here like that. This goes back on, that goes like that. And the chokes go in there, then a wrench if you had it, or your trigger lock. I've got to shoot this thing 500 more times to give it an honest evaluation, so I'll check back in. Then I need to keep it for a couple of years and let you know then that I had any problems with it. A couple of days at the trap and skeet course will tell you a lot about a gun, because you're shooting hundreds of rounds there. Not a lot of time to clean and oil. It's really revealing. This thing I think is gonna hold up. Impressive so far. I think this might be one of the top shotguns for under $1,000. I'm not beholden to Mossberg in any way. I don't get a dime. I do like the company though. I've got so many of their guns. They just always work for me. Good move though, Mossberg. I think this gun is worthy of the BullShooters value tag. That's Mossberg's International Gold Reserve Black Label. You can get it for under $1,000. I'm Jeff Johnston, and that's no BS. The good thing about this job is that I get guns to test. The bad thing about it is I gotta send them back. Unless I really like them, then I can